Hey calculus kids, this is Dr. Callahan with week 10 Wednesday. How are you guys doing? You made it halfway through the day, so that's good. We're halfway through the week. So here are the 3 questions in regards to your warm-up log. Go ahead and pause the video and answer them. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. So after school tutoring is going to be a little bit interesting this year because I do have meetings after school, or with COVID, it's a little bit difficult to meet up, but I do have my Zoom tutoring, so you're welcome to go ahead and fill out the form there, and I will go ahead and reach out to you and we can set up something via Zoom. If you would prefer to do this in person, just stop by after class, talk to me, and I'm sure we can go ahead and clarify that as well. All right, so the steps for differentiation, implicit differentiation. So today your quiz is going to be on this, but in addition to this, another part of this that we talked about last Thursday and Friday was on, remember, position function, velocity, and acceleration. So that's the second part of it. So to find the implicit differentiation, I have several steps. First one is just find the derivative. A lot of times you apply the power rule, the quotient rule, or the product rule. Then you're going to go ahead and every time you find the derivative for y, you're going to put out a dy over dx. And next step is you want to have all the dy over dx's isolated on the left side and anything else without a dy over dx over on the right side. And then afterwards, you want to factor out a dy over dx, so it's specifically by itself with most likely parentheses and then some other terms inside the parentheses, and then divide all the other non-dy over dx's over to the right side. So you will have the dy over dx by itself, which is equal to slope, which is equal to y prime, and it is the derivative. So that is going to be your step for that. Okay, so in class, we're going to be working on this. So if you're at home, make sure you grab this piece of paper, or actually you can just write it on a separate piece of paper on your own and then just cut it out. I mean, that works as well. So 13 different cards. So this is going to be your second set of cards. So in front of the envelope, you are going to write down, memorize my trig identities. I know this is something that you should have done last semester in trigonometry and pre-calculus, but unfortunately, some of you guys either didn't remember it, or you probably just need a little bit more practice, in which case that is totally fine. So what are they equal to? And these are not derivatives. So just back in trigonometry, what would you write for, let's say, sine square theta plus cosine square theta? What is that equal to? Well, it equals to 1. And also, you should know that cosine square theta equals 1 minus sine square theta. So those are the things that you need to write down for, let's say, this one here. Okay, so you can go ahead and I know it looks a little bit crazy right there, but there you go. Let's move that out of the way. So you can go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 different cards. Okay, go ahead on a piece of paper, draw 20 different, you want to draw 4 lines. So you have 4 different rows, and then you want to write 5 different columns. So 4 by 5 is 20 cards, and then write this on the first page. Go ahead and cut it out, and you can pause the video if you need to. Okay, now that you have them cut out, you have 20 little cards. On the back of these cards, you need to go ahead and write down what they're equal to. Like, for example, what is cosecant squared theta equal to? And if you need a little bit of a refresher, here are some of the reciprocal identities that I used to teach when I was teaching pre-calculus. So take a look at that. And these are all the ones that you should have. And notice that the one that we did talk about in class, sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1, but you can also rewrite it into 2 different variations, sine squared theta equal 1 minus cosine squared theta, and then cosine squared theta equals 1 minus sine squared theta. So make sure you have your reciprocal identities, your tangent, cotangent identities, and then also your Pythagorean identities. Pause the video, finish your flashcards, put in an envelope, and start memorizing them. When I was going to high school, I sometimes made these because I took AP Calculus as well, and I'll put underneath my pillow with the envelopes, thinking that if I sleep on it, it will retain better. And actually, more than not, it's so that they're readily available when I wake up in the morning. It's the first thing that I'm going to memorize and go through my flashcards. And then the last thing I go to bed, I'm going to go ahead and go through my flashcards. And scientifically, it actually does help you, believe it or not. Oh, right. So at this point, this was the first set of flashcards that you guys have. You should have already had this, but just for kicks and giggles, make sure you take a look at them and go, do I know what is a derivative of a to the x is equal to? So just ask yourself that and make sure you have that as well. All right, so your quiz today is going to be on AP College Board. It is going to be a multiple choice question and free response questions, and it's actually not a lot. It's really only 5, mainly because of the combination of multiple choice and then free response questions. You can't really get into the habit of just understanding multiple choice questions. You also have to practice doing free response questions. So you're welcome to use your notes from yesterday when we went over the second derivatives of implicit differentiation. And so you can go ahead and apply that. Now you will have access to this on a multitude of ways. The first way that you have access to this is through MS Team. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys where to go for that. So if you go to MS Team, which I don't see it here, so boo. Okay, hopefully it's going to pop up. Actually, while we're waiting for that, why don't we just jump into... No, actually, now it popped up. Maybe. Let's see. No, no, no. Okay, that's okay. I'll go back there in a second. So I'm first going to show you guys how to find it. So we can go ahead and do this through my College Board. My College Board. I have a teacher login, but of course you will have the student login. So we're going to log in. And then once you log in here, you should be able to go to your AP Classroom. Come on, slow Wi-Fi. I think I have like 100 gigahertz of something. It's actually pretty fast Wi-Fi, but still, I'm like, come on, move it. All right, so then you're going to go to your assessments, and it is going to be right here where it is says Week 10 Wednesday Calculus AB Semester 1 Implicit Differentiation, Dr. Callahan, and you're going to go ahead and take that quiz. Now, the second place that you can find this is through MS Teams. So on MS Teams, you have your calculus class. And from your calculus class, you see Week 10 Wednesday Assessment College Board PDF. You just go ahead and click on that. And ta-da, it is going to hopefully download and you will be able to see it. And yes, you do see it. Here's question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, and then question 5. Okay. So with that said, that is your quiz. Now, with that said, I know I keep saying with that said, I think it's a little bit late in the day. I'm just really tired. Moving on. So the second part of this is the questions right here. That is going to be on velocity and acceleration. Okay, so what I'm going to do is you are welcome to use your notes. It is basically 1, 2, 3, 4 questions, and you're able to go ahead and use your notes on when we actually did this. But I'm actually going to help you set this up as well. So let's go ahead and see what just happened here. Where's my screen share? There we go. Okay. And I want to be a little bit bigger. Okay. All right. So essentially, you guys have 2 parts to your quiz. You have the AP College Board, which is 5 questions, and then you have this part right here, which is paper pencil format, and there are 4 questions, or I'm sorry, 5 questions right here, so 9 questions in all. So then looking at this first part, I'm going to help you guys set this part up. So let's go ahead and proceed with that. Let's see, draw My kids got me really addicted to all these crazy, crazy colors that is on PowerPoint that you can actually draw with, like rainbow colors. It looks like a unicorn is drawing on your paper. All right, so looking at this. Okay, so A, it says the velocity of a function is described by the function of that right there. So it's given to you the velocity. It's not giving you the position function. So what time when the acceleration is equal to 0? Well, given the facts talking about acceleration, you need to find A of t. Wow, that is a little bit crazy looking, which is going to equal to v prime of t. So whatever that is going to be, so find the v prime, okay? And then once you have that, you're going to set it equal to 0 because that's when acceleration is 0. And then you're going to go ahead and factor it equal than 0 and then solve for t, and it is going to equal to 2 numbers. And I am even going to be nice enough to give you the first number. First number is, whoops, holy cow, that is crazy. Hold on, let's get rid of that. And the first number is actually going to be 1. So you figure out what the second number is. Okay, so I'm just going to help you out there. All right, next part. B, it says find the velocity when the acceleration is 0. Okay, well, you already have the acceleration formula. It's given to you. So find the velocity when the acceleration is 0. You are going to plug in that number into this equation for t. But you also know that one of the t is 1. And so you do the same thing over here. Now, you don't know the second t because that's the one that you need to find because you're doing v of t. Okay, and the formula I'm going to use is this formula right here. You don't change it, you just use it. Okay. All right, so I hope this is helping you out. Number 2, then it says the position function of a particle moving in a straight line is this, x of t. So that's the position function. For meters of t greater than 0. Well, yes, time has to be bigger than 0. So remember, if this is the position function, you can go ahead and find the velocity if you do the first derivative, and you can find the acceleration if you do the second derivative. A says, when is the particle at rest? So saying when this is at rest means that you need to find the v of t. So you go ahead and find the v of t by finding the first derivative of x of t. So whatever that is, okay? Rest means that v of t is equal to 0. So I am going to set this equal to 0. And then you are going to factor it, and you should have t equal to 2 numbers. And to help you out, I'm going to tell you that the second number is going to be 4. So your job is to figure out what is the first number. So I hope that helps. B. B asks you, during what time interval is the particles moving to the right? So what it means is that you need to find the slope when it is positive. Your vehicle is going to be moving to the right. Okay. And then, okay, I'm done with this crazy glitter writing. I'm sorry, it's giving me a headache. When the slope is a negative, you are moving to the left. Okay, so what do you do there? Well, you have to do a thing called a number line. And we did talk about this with your notes before. So you are going to draw a number line. You have the 2 t's from A. So you're going to put the 2 t's right here, T1 and T2, whatever that is going to be. And you are going to basically practice picking out a number on the left side, picking a number in the middle, picking a number on the right side, and you are going to plug those numbers into V of t to see if it's a positive or negative number. And any number that is going to be positive means that it is going to be moving to the right. during that time. So that's what you're gonna do. All right, C. During what time is a particle moving to the left? Well, obviously, moving to the right means that it is positive. Moving to the left is when it's negative. So you have to figure that out. All right, and then let's move on to number 15, slide 15, not number 15. Okay, let's move up a little bit. Ooh, what happened? There we go. For number 3, you are to find the equation of the tangent line at curve x equals 4. So first thing to do, because it's talking about the tangent line, which means you will have to use point slope form or y-intercept form, whichever one you want. I will find the slope first. Find slope using the first derivative rule. And unfortunately, you will have to use the quotient rule, okay? So make sure you do that. And then once you find the slope, use the point, and you're like, well, which point am I going to use? Well, if it's given to you that x equals 4, you could figure out what y is if you do f of 4, and you plug that 4 into this equation, and that will give you y. So now you have the x, now you have the y, you should have the slope formula, plug it in, you should be able to find it just fine. Okay, so for B, find the equation of the tangent line to the curve where the slope is equal to -3/4. So you have your derivative, okay? You have your derivative of f prime of x. You are going to set that f prime of x, the slope is equal to -3/4. Set that derivative to -3/4. And then what you're going to do is you are going to solve for x. And let me help you out. You are going to be doing a little bit of factoring, okay? And once you do the factoring, your x is going to equal to 2 different numbers. And yes, I will even tell you what the second or first number is. The first number here is x is going to be equal to 1. Your job is make sure you do the steps and find the second number. And then from there, you need to go ahead and find the f of the 2 numbers. So that way you know what the y value is going to be. And so with these x numbers, you need to find f of 1. That's going to give you the y number, obviously. And then f of what just happened. No, do not say you do not respond. There we go. Whatever that is, equal. And that should give you the second y number. Okay, so once you have that, you plug into the equation y equals mx plus b. First equation, and then y equals mx plus b for your second equation. Whew, okay, then this one, it's pretty kind of straightforward to find the derivative of this. I would just recommend that with this one here, you rewrite it. So you have x to the 1/3, 1 minus x to the third, product rule all the way. With number 5, f of x, rewrite it to 2x to the -1/2 minus 5x to the 1/4 plus 12x cubed plus or minus 4 pi plus 6.5x, power rule all the way. Okay. All right, you guys, I hope me helping you set up the problem helps. Make sure you do both parts of the quiz. And again, it is due next Tuesday by midnight. So you have that time to go ahead and finish this. Week 9, Wednesday's quiz is already due. So make sure you have that completed. Now, in case you have not completed that, you can still get it done, but there is a penalty. There is going to be a 20% off penalty for each week that it is late. So it is really in your best interest to go ahead and turn that in as soon as you can. So I will highly recommend that. So, as a summary of what we did just now, you know that your week 9 or the week 10 Wednesdays quiz, there are two parts. First part is going to be your multiple choice and free response question on AP College Board. And there are 5 questions total. And your second part is going to be your questions on particle motion and derivatives. And it is 5 questions on paper. Okay, so altogether 10 questions total. This is due on week 11, Tuesday, and most time I usually just say, I shouldn't say midnight, I should say 11 p.m. because you shouldn't be working up to midnight because your mom and dad should be very upset by that. So 11 p.m. Okay, I could say 8 p.m., but let's just push it to 11. All right, so then week 9, Wednesday, your assessment was on AP College Board. And if it is late, you can still do it, but there's a 20% penalty for each week that it is late. So I highly suggest that you do that because I am going to be inserting the grade from the previous week into Infinite Campus as missing on Wednesday. So your grades will be updated. So I know some people are like, oh no, my grade's gonna go down. Well, you gotta make sure you do the work in this class. It is a college level class, and I know it's difficult, and you guys are still high school kids, and I completely sympathize with that. I mean, I took this class in my junior year in high school, and so I understand that. But at the same time, you need to make sure that you guys get this done. And that's why you have corrections that you could do in case you didn't do something correctly. You get half a point back. And then also I always allow you guys to do any assignment late, but there is a penalty. So keep that in mind. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful week and I will see you guys next time. As always, stay safe and healthy. Take care.